You know, and what started this video was I met a guy maybe a month ago, and he's moved here, and at the time he was trying out the Karate area. I don't know if he stayed here or not. I haven't talked to him since. He wasn't very happy. He wasn't very happy back in the States. He wasn't very happy when he got here. He's been here a while. He's been coming here for a while. He's still not very happy. He maybe, I would say, I mean, if you were to be a little critical, probably doesn't maybe make like the best decisions that are going to promote and further give him opportunities for being happy. Probably not. As I mentioned in a couple of videos ago, I think, I've done quite a bit of what I call like warning content in my videos. Yeah, it's a lot of what my channel is about is, hey, this is kind of how things work. Trying to pass on things that I learned, and let me assure you, the really hard and painful and sometimes humiliating way from my early days here, and I've been here just under 5 years now, and so I call that warning content, and that's great, and that's all fine, but it's also kind of nice. I guess somebody could get the feeling that maybe, you know, it hasn't worked out that well for me, or gee, maybe this is really dangerous. Or now, all those problems are really easy to avoid once you kind of get like your navigational equipment working properly over here, you know. But again, most of us don't avoid it. But you know, again, most guys just come and they're retired and they're done, and they just kind of. And I've done it too. You just kind of shut your brain down and just kind of relax and just kind of drop your guard and just have at it. And maybe not the best idea when you're in a foreign country and in a foreign culture. But anyhow, wanted to talk about happy. How do we do the happy thing? How do I stay happy? What's going on? And I'll tell you, a lot of it starts with having a good constructive system, like a structure that you live within, that you create for yourself, that keeps you busy and occupied doing things that you like and that are good for you. And so what I want to do is let's kind of start with that. Fawn is so beautiful out here tending to the garden. She generally spends about an hour here every day doing little things. It's so cute. She's so beautiful, and seeing her beauty within the beauty of the garden is an extremely pleasant thing. A fellow could sit in that orange chair right there, maybe sip a small bourbon and just kind of watch Fawn tend the garden and chat with her, and she'll invite me to come out and sit and just keep her company while she's doing a little, I think she considers it therapeutic, and just a very pleasant conversation, a little light Thai gossip, some local stuff, some work stuff, and it's amazing what I can kind of learn and glean from things that she says, you know. Those factor into future videos, you know, in some way or another. Anyhow, so happy, my constructive little happy life. Let's dig into that. It's easier for me to sit down. Standing is still difficult. I'm old. This is a channel for old people. Well, actually, I will tell you, my second biggest group after the seniors is the young guys. Those guys, I have a video on that just a few videos ago. You really want to assimilate. If you're going to live here from a young age, you want to master the language and the food. This is a food and language culture. That's 100% what Thailand is. There's other things. There's all about being a Thai, but you can't fix. Hey, go and be Thai. Anyways, so happiness. How am I? The problem is this video. I don't know what the heck I'm going to call it, because no one's going to really want to watch a video about being happy. You know, it is what it is, and I need to make this because it's only fair. I am super happy at this point in my life. This is the happiest that. I mean, I would have to struggle to really search the memory banks on, like, you know, maybe there were some times during my teens when I had like my first it wasn't brand new, it was a 2-year-old salvage car, but you know, on a salvage title back in 1980. Had my first car, 1982. It was a 1980 model. In 1982, it had been totaled. Anyways, but no, I was pretty happy then. You know, I had a job washing dishes, got moved up to being cook, which who would make an 18-year-old rob a cook? That tells you all you need to know about the quality of that restaurant. I would not recommend eating there. And I had my car and my smoking hot girlfriend. I was pretty happy. That was not bad. And in college was particularly the last 2 years at Michigan State University. that was pretty happy. And there were many times in between. I called it the stage of life when me and my first wife and our two kids that were all four of us went everywhere together. And that was an awful lot of fun. I mean, that was really, and I appreciated it for what it was at the time. And I look back nothing but fondly on that whole time. It was wonderful. And this is right up there with all of those. This is obviously much more indulgent, hence the private library I'm making the video from, and the garden I just showed you. Again, when things kind of calm down financially, I'm taking a little bit of a break from spending a lot of money on all my building. When you create your life and you first retire, you'll encounter a lot of expenses, and it's expensive having expenses. That's probably why they're called that. And taking a break. So being happy, and what started this video was I met a guy maybe a month ago, and he's moved here. And at the time, he was trying out the Karate area. I don't know if he stayed here or not. I haven't talked to him since. He wasn't very happy. He wasn't very happy back in the States. He wasn't very happy when he got here. He's been here a while. He's been coming here for a while. He's still not very happy. He maybe, I would say, if you were to be a little critical, probably doesn't maybe make like the best decisions that are going to promote and further give him opportunities for being happy. Probably not. I have a mutual friend that knows him, and his assessment was much harsher than mine, I'll tell you. So, it's up to us in retirement. And when you're married, you've got a wife, you've got to make her happy, and you got to value that. And you got kids, you got a huge responsibility there. And, maybe you're a boss or an employer, or you're an employee, or whatever it is you do, you got all that. And here now it's me. I support Fawn. I support her boys, and I help her family a little here and there with either my time doing something or a little bit of financial assistance here and there. But believe me, it's all well within. It's not the buffalo stuff you hear about that a lot of guys get. That I know. The way I'm immersed, no one here really wants to do that to me that I'm aware of, and it would be really hard to do, So that guy, back to that guy, he wasn't very happy, and it was funny. He made a comment which triggered this video. Sorry, and he wanted to meet again for lunch or do something, or maybe it was for that meeting. I don't remember. And he made a comment, and he was just surprised at how busy I was. He goes, "Wow, you're really," because I'm like, "Oh no, that day I got class, I got this, I got that, and the other day I got physical therapy." Fair amount of doctor's appointments at this age. Everybody that watches my channel regularly knows that's me, and that's pretty common life in your 60s. Again, half my friends have passed away already, so I don't complain about my medical stuff because I'm lucky to be here, right? Anyways, he commented on that, and so here's this guy who's not happy, and he apparently has had an overabundance of free time, and I think my point is, I don't think those two things are a coincidence. For me, and I'm a routine guy, but I think human beings like routine to a point. No one wants a mind-numbing routine of being in prison or something, but some kind of supportive routine. I think no matter how intelligent you are, or how outside the box of a thinker you might be, or how wild and crazy you might be, some kind of underlying basic structure, schedule, a couple of have-tos or want-tos or shoulds in your schedule, I think is not just healthy. I think it's super healthy, possibly mandatory to being really happy, unless, although I just watched an old interview with Steven Tyler, and that guy's a little crazy. Hey, you plot twist, the famous rock and roll star from the 70s is a little bit of a wild and crazy guy. And he has a highly varied schedule that honestly I would really dislike. But he seemed pretty happy with his life, so which is good, more power to him. I'm a fan of the music, and he seems like a nice person, in all honesty. He comes across well in an interview, I'll say that. But for me, I'm a schedule guy. My point being, even if you're not, this is a good thing. So what do I do? What's working? And maybe these are things you could think about. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I learn Thai language, reading, writing, and speaking with Usani. And I always put her picture and link in every video, and I put a little thing across the screen in every video because I really like her. She's one of my favorite people in this world. And two, she is a really gifted teacher, especially for old guys, because she has like infinite patience. And I didn't understand how patient she has to be, but I've been asked to teach a class a couple of times, teach Thai people English, and of course you give the lesson basically in Thai, and then you bring in the English, and Ushni's doing the opposite, obviously. Man, that's hard on the old brain, and it I don't have the patience for it. So I recommend her, and I go for an hour of class 3 days a week. The Thai language is it's like a 5-layer translation. You don't just translate one word and that means this and you're done. There's how you use it. That's where it comes from. It fits in the sentence in an entirely different way. And the word means, says one thing, but it really means another. Like to agree, it means I see as well. That's how you say agree. You say I see as well, which is henduai. Unless you're speaking Karat language, which is in that case, it's gununde. Don't those two sound the same? Yeah, no, there are 5 really different languages in Thailand, take my word. So, great. And if you think, oh, hey, henduai, okay, that's how you say agree. Okay, no problem. I see my dictionary says henjai. I'll just say henjai. No, henjai means I deeply understand you, and I totally empathize and am involved in your life. It implies like a layer of love. Like you cannot go around saying that to strangers. So it's crazy. It's learn to speak basic Thai and then assess yourself from there. But still, as hard as it is, strong recommend. All my short-term memory problems have disappeared. Over the last 6 years, I've been learning Thai, and I feel sharper, fresher, better, more alert. And nothing makes you feel like a younger guy than riding your motorcycle and going to school. This is like back in the 80s for me. My life's gone full circle. Anyway, so I do that 3 days a week for an hour. But, that's, 20 minutes or plus. Vehicle travel there, that's 20 minutes back. There's usually a snack or a stop involved. Usually by Tura, I'm going and making some errands in the area. There's a Global House nearby her school. There's a really good Lotus's almost across the street from her, and there's about 5 7-Elevens within that 1 mile radius. So I'll hit all those little places and pick up a protein, pick up a couple of bolts or some nuts or something, and and that's my day, and I love that. Also on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and also on Saturday, because I'm up to 4 days a week now at the gym, which that's been 2 months so far, and my body's starting to adjust to where it's not an onerous burden, an excessive burden on me. So it was really hard the first month. That was really hard. But I'm getting there. So I do 4 days a week of the gym. That's a 1 hour workout. I was doing an hour and a half. Now I've cut it down to an hour. When I'm every day virtually, I go into the city. I bring my homework with me. So, sorry, hit the table. And that way, if I stop for a coffee, which is very frequently, I'll do that. Almost every time I'm in the city, I'll grab a late morning, early afternoon coffee. No coffee after 2 p.m., otherwise it messes with my sleeping. I've learned that lesson. And all that great stuff, right? So before I did gym one day, Usni the other day, because I was so tired because my health was so poor. I was just exhausted getting out of bed, and just showering and shaving and eating bread. I'm like an 80-year-old man, but my health has just not been good. I broke it up. Now I'm robust enough. I can pack that all into one day, which is half the mileage on my car, half the time in my life spent driving, which I don't mind. Or when I'm riding my Harley Davidson, I rather enjoy that, but I really can't do that every day. That's too much for me. That's an 800-pound bike, and that's too much. But my point is, now that gives me Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday as my rest day. So now when I have a day at home, and it's just a day at home, and I'm kind of a homebody, so this works for me. You got to find what works for you. Hey, that's my rest day. I just did that. And I have homework from the day before, and there's always, and plus I independent study every day. I mean, I'm exposed to new words still every day. My vocabulary is small. It's huge for an old foreign guy. I mean, Thais are, I'll tell you, setting all pretenses of modesty or, I'm not, aside and just telling you what it really is. I mean, my vocabulary is gigantic for an old foreign guy, and Thais just can't believe it. When I start talking and I engage the third, the fourth, the fifth follow-up sentence and question, and I keep hanging with them, they're like, geez, what the heck? I mean, most people the Thai people I talk to tell me they've never met a foreign retiree like me that can speak like this. 99% of all the guys you really hear you talking are the children from Christian missionaries that grew up here. I mean, it sounds like a weird stereotype. I was told that when I got here, and I'm like, nah, come on, that's just a story. And every single one so far has been the child of a missionary. So it's a thing. Now, if you're a young guy and you're coming here to work, which smart as heck, young man, then just learn the language and your brain's still a sponge. I'd take the 3-year pause if I could and go to that fancy university. You can look it up. It's called if you Google the Harvard of Bangkok, it comes up. And I forget the name of I won't try to pronounce it, but I have it in some of my other videos. But they'll get you fluent after 3 years, I think it is. But you'll be speaking Thai and doing Thai like 8-10 hours a day, like 6 days a week. Like your brain will be goo for half of that time, but you'll come out of there speaking like a Thai. I mean, that's if you're a young guy, that's the play. But anyways, on to the rest of us. So now when I'm resting, it's not like, oh, I got nothing to do. Oh, I'm just sitting around. Same as like my one grandmother, the poor thing. I mean, she kind of sat around her house kind of a lot. I always felt kind of bad for that, but I don't, because now it's like, well, now I'm here. Maybe I better tend to the garden, which I don't do much because I'm banned from bending or lifting for life from my doctors. But I can pick up a little trash here and there. I just saw a bag blow across my yard. I got this is a breezy spot, praise God. I built the house specifically on a hill that we built. 2 meters high, which is enough to catch the local breeze. And I oriented the house and the wall in a certain way. If you actually look, it's an air scoop. I always liked hood scoops on cars, so might as well live in one. This morning, there's a bucket of paint just off camera. I touched up like 5 little chips in the paint in the library here. I went and found the actual paint and actually found an old brush that still worked. I'm going to throw it away after this, but, and I'm going to hire the lady that I kind of take care of a little bit financially with funds, blessing, and permission. Never give a Thai woman money behind your lady's back because she will eventually find out, and then you're going to have a stick upside your head. But I'm going to have her send one of her boys over and just get the ladder work to do the 2 chips that are like 15 feet up. The ceiling in this small room is 15 feet high, and I don't want to go up there. That's just on any risk that I fall, that's a life altering event for me. It's just I've hit that point in life. It's just not worth it. I'll pay somebody. I've got more money than bone density at this point. So all that, and then Fawn, I chose wisely with my relationship with Fawn, and I mean, it's a romantic relationship. I mean, she will make demands of my time and such from time to time. If I'm not kind of on it and I know better to manage a relationship and I've just been a little lazy or off or whatever in doing that, she'll come to me. And if I'm sitting in the library just enjoying my quiet time, because I am kind of a loner, I really am. I enjoy my own company. She'll come in and very quietly open and close the door, come sit next to me on the couch or sit in front of me if I'm laying down on the couch watching a video or working on some homework or something. And she'll just check on me. How are you? How are you feeling? And, she's touching me very lovingly, touching the hair on my head or my shoulder or something. It's just sweet, and I have this very warm, caring, compassionate relationship. Instead of picking the hottest girl with the absolutely sexiest tattoo that runs straight up her ass or something, okay, I found a good, traditional, caring Thai woman. At 40, she's kind of hit middle age, and she's got 2 boys and all that, and a family. Her parents, I hit the microphone. Sorry, that she takes care of, and And this kind of domestic life that she has kind of fits with me as an old guy, So it's a good fit. It's a really good fit. Versus and she's a little young. I wouldn't intentionally do that again, but it's worked out. But I wouldn't intentionally do that again. So she's wonderful. She takes care of everything. If I even breathe the words that I need this or I'm thinking about that, she's got 5 options for me. Which one do you think you like, Rob? Which one would be better for you? And then I mentioned maybe this weekend would be nice to get out. Maybe we've had a real quiet week in the village by my choice. I am old, okay? And then I'm like, yeah, maybe we should go out and get a steak. Haven't had a steak. If it gets to be 2 weeks and I haven't gone out for a nice steak, then I try to eat a steak at least twice a month. Sue me. I'm not trying to be some paleo, whatever, trendy, whatever, but it probably is healthy. It's certainly a giant source of protein and iron and whatnot. I seem to feel better when I have a steak once in a while, and they are dang tasty, and nothing goes with a beer better than a nice juicy steak. Now I'm getting hungry. So, and I found a new place. Maybe I'll put it in the bonus footage. I found a new place. I think I'll do that. I'll put it in the bonus footage. Incredible steak, incredible. And it was it was a little bit expensive, but it was within reason. Very fair for what it was. Cheap. for the food quality, it was honestly cheap. Anyway, picking the relationship wisely was a giant part of my happiness. And then I manage my relationships back home, and that helps too. I've got a really good relationship with both my kids. I have a super close relationship with my boy, who again is an adult with autism. We're best friends. I mean, it's fantastic. That makes me so happy in my heart. And then it's down. I had like kind of 15 friends probably before through my car club and other stuff, and I don't participate in any of that anymore. And I used to go sailing all the time, and I don't, obviously, you really can't go sailing in the U.S. when I'm here in Thailand. So, and I kind of did a lot of sailing, and it was fun. And I'm kind of, I'm not bored with it, but I still love it, I guess. But I don't feel the urge. If I needed the urge, I would have lived on the beach somewhere, and I would have bought a sailboat. But it really didn't feel the urge, apparently. So all my relationships back home, I feel, are in a good, comfortable spot. Yeah, you lose a lot of friends. Yeah, a lot of people they get jealous. Your ex-wife runs around and tells everybody what a worm of a guy you are or something. And that's everyone's choice. But the really good people, funny how that works. They all stick with you, And then some people I'm kind of surprised I got a little closer with in a certain way. Kind of odd to say, but I've got some people that really love me back home, and that other than family and that feels good. And I'll tell you another thing about happiness too. I was always kind of a self-happy guy, so maybe this was easier for me. But even when my life was challenging, and being an independent inventor, which means making shit up out of the top of your head somewhere, drawing a picture of it, and then maybe paying somebody to make you a mold for it, or making a mold on your own, whether you know how to make a mold or not, you figure it out, and maybe it works or not, and then you go through the expense of, back then it was $3,500. Now I'll bet you it's $20,000 to make a patent and patent the damn thing, and then you got to go and rent one of those storage locker, glorified storage locker, incubator type business places. It's a storage locker with a faucet and a toilet and some electricity. Great. And you got to make a business out of that, and maybe hand paint a sign over it and start selling your stuff. And then you check other people will rip you off, copy your invention, and not want to pay you. Yeah, all that kind of fun. So it's not easy, but even back then, even though it was extremely stressful, I could put that aside. And I was a big movie guy. Back in the day, I would take my break, I would take my escape, and I would go to the movies. I just would enjoy a good movie. I always loved a good movie. I don't really watch movies much anymore. Maybe I'm kind of don't need that anymore. Maybe I'm just kind of living a happy life now. Maybe I enjoy a good directorial, really. Like a genius director making a quality film like The Revenant or The Departed or something, that's a whole different fish. That's a whole different animal. But yeah, I'm basically just kind of, I've lost interest in a lot of things. I think I'm just happy with my own life. I don't like, I used to watch those car auctions, those classic muscle car auctions on TV. And I'd be like my eyes glued to the screen going, oh man, I wish I had that one. Oh, I got to have one of those. Oh geez, a 1970 GSX. I couldn't be happy without one, or whatever it was, and now it's like, pain in the ass. It's going to rust. They never start when you want them to. The carburetors gum up. Here's the right weather for one, but good luck importing one over here. That there's a 300% import tariff. So you better be what we call rich if you want to do that. Yeah, no, but I've kind of lost the interest in all these other things because it's just me, I'm still dreaming of doing some kind of Muay Thai training or practice, not the actual fighting. Again, I don't want to ever be in a fight ever again. But I stay informed enough as to what's happening back home to my friends and such to just kind of, so I'm aware of what's going on, but I try not to digest too much of that crap, and it's crap, let's be honest. And I just live my happy little life here in my little happy little corner of the world. We're back to Mr. Horning in 8th grade art class, junior high school, we called it back in the day. I don't know why they renamed it to middle school. Junior high, I think, was a better name, but maybe I'm biased. I guess I'm a caveman, but Mr. Horning was this crazy, eccentric little art teacher, and I learned a lot from him. And I used to wonder, how could this guy possibly function? Because he was really kind of an odd guy, even for an art teacher. And eventually it dawned on me, and this was like, 13 or 14-year-old Rob, musing life for the first time and thinking, one thing you kind of got to do is create your own little happy corner of the world. That was the big lesson he taught me, other than shading, and every piece of art's got to have black in it somewhere. You got to do that. And I literally, I literally did that here. I strong recommend. And so back to that guy that was not busy, not occupied with his time, and not happy, I am the opposite at the other end of that. And that's kind of where I think it stays. And I see guys that have nothing to do, apparently, because if I walk by a pub once in a while, I tend to see the same people. And sometimes if I walk by in the morning and I walk by, say, 2, 3 in the afternoon, they're still on the same bar stool. So I'm going to deduct from that they weren't busy that day. So I think a good, if you read about it, I mean, I did being kind of happy and kind of lightly busy throughout your day is considered super healthy physically and your physical health. I think it's even bigger for your mental health, maybe. That's maybe what I'm kind of realizing, possibly for the first time. I never thought about all this before. I never really did, but... man, this is working really good, and Thailand's not that hard to do. It's got a low cost of living. If you live if you're cost challenged, like I was in retirement, like the overwhelming majority, there are super rich people that come here, and some even live out here by me. They just don't want to waste their money, and they like it quiet, and they don't need to try and find a quiet spot that costs $1 million US in Bangkok. They can just take a quiet spot out here for 50 grand or 100 grand maybe for a big house, and they're fine. But most guys are kind of looking to cost manage a bit. And again, I'm 4 to 5 times wealthier out here, depending on the exchange rate. And I feel I have way more control over my spending because although I support Fun financially, that's more through like a general like allowance or budget that I give her so she can help budget her end. I don't dig my nose through all her finances. You can if you want to or need to. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I generally don't. I know what most of her expenses are. She knows what most of my expenses are, but we don't audit each other month by month, or we never have. I kind of like having my own money in my own account, and it's illegal to have a combo bank account unless you have a registered marriage, by the way. Which is probably should have that law back in the U.S. And I kind of like having my own bank accounts. If I see a motorcycle part I just buy it, and I know Fun isn't looking at the bill going, oh my God, you spent. I remember when you were married, maybe the first time I don't have that anymore. I'm an adult. I manage my own money, and I'm fine. And man, all this stuff is pretty dang good. So strong recommend. That's me being happy. I really don't think it's difficult. I think if you avoid the super obvious, major, giant red flag glowing things to not do, I think you'll naturally fall into a pretty happy, nice little peaceful existence. And you can focus on, I got a friend here, he's a big fisherman. It's traveling within Thailand, intra-country travel in Thailand is cheap, easy, and abundant. And there's private taxis, which are actually affordable. There's Rotdu, the little tour buses, which take like 12, 15, maybe 20 people at the most, and they have different routes. You got to go where their route is. They're not going to drive where you want. That's a private taxi only. And then there's the big buses, and then of course planes, and then trains. Or you can rent a car here. Karat has a car rental, and of course you're going to stay here a while. You want to buy a car or a motorcycle for sure. But he takes your and he's got the money to do what he wants, but he just keeps it cheap and easy and takes the little private buses and stuff sometimes and does his fishing all over Thailand. And he'll send me pictures once in a while. And I don't really care about the fishing. I could care less, but it's nice to see him happy. He's like he's got his big fish. I'm thinking, ugh, it's slimy. I wouldn't want to touch it. But he's like all happy and he's got a big smile on his face. And it's like, it's good for her. It makes me happy to see the picture. He probably wonders why I spend my time in a box lifting weights, but I freaking love it. Do what you love. Enjoy. It's easy. Be happy. It's easy. You're lucky. We're still alive. We're lucky. Take care.
And here's today's bonus footage.
Well, we just had an incredible meal. What a pity I did not come here before. I'd heard of a place called Wild Cafe, and we met the Frenchman that owns the place. He also is the chef, which makes sense because the food quality was just way sky high above the other restaurants around here. It's surprising and a little sad that other people apparently aren't appreciating this, and the word isn't like, oh gosh, well there's Wild Cafe, which is like clearly the best, and everything else is there's some pretty good places, but I have not heard that sentiment expressed in the almost 5 years I've lived here, but we'll correct that now. Oh yeah, here's their hours. So as the lovely Fawn is pointing out for us. And then across the street, they have the Casa Coco Hotel. Very reasonably priced place. You could inquire about maybe a monthly rate or something, but the daily rate is like 600-700 baht at the most. And if you go on some of the discount internet stuff, it's 500 baht a day. So that's 15 bucks. So pretty affordable. And this is a nice location. You're near Mayfair Park. You're near the mall, Korat. You're near many nice things. This is a good location. And the pool is immaculately clean. The grounds are spotless. They have covered parking, and the inside was also spotless. I just really professional. Nice to see. I guess that French touch on everything. The guy takes us real seriously. So there you go. Fawn is going to let us inside the wild French Mediterranean restaurant. Okay, here we go. Follow along with Fawn on our dream date. Yeah.
Very nice. Delicious. Very delicious.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really, really good. Okay. All right. Just had a nice chat with the owner on the inside. I don't know how much that video is going to survive because there's music playing in the background, but I took a couple of snapshots. You can see there's the screening for the outdoor grounds, which has the beautiful and immaculately clean pool. I could definitely spend an afternoon sipping margaritas there. All right, well, I got the lovely Fawn inside the car.
And here's a little mini slideshow. This was kind of an impromptu date with Fawn. We were running errands. It got late into the afternoon, and we both now prefer to eat our large meal of the day earlier on just to manage our weight. What a beauty she is. The restaurant was immaculate, gorgeous, and clean. The food was absolutely amazing. This guy's obviously some kind of trained high-end chef. And they had very nice selection on the menu, and they had 2 of these things of beer. Very nice selection of beer as well.
This is Rob. Video's over. I'm closing my gate. But if you've been liking or subscribing, or and praise God if you've been a member of the channel, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that watches. You have a great day.